Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults, by adults, and the views and opinions expressed here do not reflect upon the sponsors or FXBG Public Radio. For additional information, please refer to the United States Bill of Rights. Stand warned. Well, you've done it. Look what you've done. You've made me insecure about my hair. Shock Monkey Radio is entertainment for adults. Oops. You made me insecure about my hair, and I had to shave it all off. I tell you, look, I was just hot. I was hot. You know, I was at home and it was hot, and I was like, I'm really hot. What can I do? So I drink some cool water. I think I'll drink some cool water, and that'll cool me down. But I drank the cool water, and it didn't cool me down, and so I decided it's my hair that's making me hot. So I shaved it all off. And I got some friends coming over later. They got some wigs for me. Maybe something that'll make me look like a medieval warrior. Welcome to Shock Monkey Radio. I am your host, the Bad Man. I'm following along in the chat. We had a hell of a time with the technical issues, but we're up and running now, so we're going to do an abbreviated show today. I'm going to skip some things, maybe talk about them next week, but I want to remind you again that I have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. You can also send me money through Cash App. Use the hashtag shockmonkeyradio, all one word. Follow me on social media over here. I would appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I spent most of this weekend in the hospital. Not me. My dad was in the hospital, but because I shaved my head, it's like not one nurse checked me out. There's this one, she said hi to everybody, but I mean, that doesn't count. And so I think I shaved off my hair and I lost all my powers. As if I had any to begin with. Yeah, so I hate hospitals. Yeah, we're going to skip a lot today. Anyway, I hate hospitals. And I'll tell you why. Because sometimes you're in a hospital and you have a conversation like this. You know how your gut has its own biome. Your gut has its own foibles, acidity, basic. You know, your pH balance in your gut health, and all that's important for a proper digestive system. And you know, you could be like my dad, and have some sort of problem with your gut and so forth, and you're like, oh, I know this person who has the opposite, has really good gut health. And I don't. And, you know, as you know, everything in your gut comes out at some point. And so you can go into the stuff that comes out, the poop, and find acids, bases, nutrients or chemicals inside somebody else's poo with a healthier gut than you. You can go through there and using science and very clean methods, you can extract what you need from this other person's poo, put it into a little capsule, all very sanitary, of course, because what? Something wrong with the audio, or are you really not believing what I'm saying?
No, I believe what you're saying. I just...
Okay. Problem with the audio?
Picking up a hum.
Oh, okay. But you put them in these pills, and you can take the pills so that your gut health will get more like that other person's. And you get into this conversation like that's an actual possibility. Like it might be something you might do in order for your own health. And I say no. I say no to that. No to poop pills. You know, it seems insane to me. Somebody else's poop has some sort of medicinal value for you. First of all, how do we even get to this point? How do we get to this point? How many scientists have been sorting through poo? How many doctors have been sorting through poo, looking at poo under microscopes, and thinking of ways we could get people to eat poo? Is there? I think it's a bunch of fecal philiacs. You know what I mean? Those are the people who study scat, study poo. Doctors, physicians, years and years of study, and we figured out that we could do this. We could stuff somebody else's poo in a capsule and have you take it. No, thank you. You ever take fish oil? Imagine if you get those fish oil burps. What kind of burps you gonna get with a poo pill? Okay? I'll pass. Just let me die. Let me die. If you're you have to eat these poop pills daily to stay alive, just let me die. Just let me die and then throw me in the trash. Well, you're really hunting down that home, huh?
Yeah, it's bothering me too. It's
I gotcha.
too much.
Alrighty. Alright, we're gonna... Ooh. Yeah, we're gonna skip. We're gonna talk about roulette next week. I wanted to talk about it today, but we're gonna skip that today. We're like a truncated show. All sorts of technical issues today. I don't know what happened. EK is also
Very bothered by
very, very perturbed. I think it's the man trying to stop us from doing our good deeds, man. That's what it is. They're trying to keep good men down. Man, boy, we're skipping a lot. I'm not even going to talk about the movie.
Why not?
All right, we'll talk about the movie. EK says, EK got mad at me last week because I reviewed Fury, and he's like, oh, that sounds like a good movie. I'll watch it. But he's like a little girl, and he can't stand like people bleeding on film or something like that.
No
So
blood and guts.
so he's like, no, it's too, you didn't warn me. It was gory. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting like warnings in my movie reviews. You got to be an adult to watch an R-rated movie. That's all I'm saying. If you can't handle it, maybe you're not an adult. Maybe you should stick to PG-13, buddy. All right. I will talk about Due Date because it was such a source of laughter for me this week. A tense weekend. But, a good comedy is a good comedy. And I know Due Date, the 2010 film Due Date, a lot of people criticize it, say it's planes, trains, and automobiles. And I will say this, it's like, yes, there's a lot of similar themes to planes, trains, and automobiles, except that has Zach Galifianakis and Iron Man, Tony Stark in it. What's his real name? Robert Downey Jr. And Robert Downey Jr., he does a good job playing a straight man that's wound too tight. And Zach Galifianakis is always good whatever he does. He's hilarious in whatever he does. And they're just these two different people from two different worlds with two different philosophies of life. They get caught up, entangled their lives together, and it's rife with lots of great big belly laughs. And so that's why I want to talk about the movie, is because, you should treat yourself. You should watch the movie Due Date if you haven't seen it, because it is a riot and a half. It is it is so hilarious. The scene where Robert Downey Jr. thinks he's going to walk away from Zach Galifianakis' characters forever, and he just starts laying into him, like really just laying into him. And then he turns to his dog. Did you have that picture?
Oh, yeah.
He has his dog with him, and he spits in the dog's face after insulting the dog. That's how angry he was. And I always like it, like a good angry, when people get angry in movies, because I've been there. And even when you're angry doesn't mean you can't be funny. It's but the dog's got the cone on his head, and he spits in the dog's face. Like, the dog doesn't understand what that's all about. And there's a scene Robert Downey Jr. with the kids. He's watching the drug dealer's kids, and the kids won't stop messing with him, so he's punching him in the gut. And he's on his way to the birth of his first child. He's like, oh, you're going to be a great father. Plus, with a comedy like this, where it's kind of like always moving from one place to another, it's like you can get a lot of great cameos. And there were a lot of great cameos in this film with Juliette Lewis. She plays the pot dealer in Atlanta. Apparently the only pot dealer in Atlanta, which I don't... sorry. But she's pretty good as a little cameo part. And then homeboy, Danny McBride, plays a pretty good character. It's hilarious. He's like a guy in a wheelchair, veteran. All he wanted to do was get off of work and go eat at Chili's with his friends. And so, I mean, it's when you have a buddy comedy like this, you can have the two principal actors like that, and you can follow them from place to place, different sets and so forth, and you can have little cameo characters come in and do like comedy parts in the movie, and that adds to it. It adds their comedic brilliance as well. Zach Galifianakis' character, his dad just died in the movie, and that's how you make him instantly sympathetic in a movie. Is that he just came from his dad's funeral. but he's still kind of an upbeat guy. But every now and then, you'll mention that his dad is dead, and he's incredibly annoying as a character. And if you ever, I don't know, interacted with human beings ever, you'll find that there are some irritating and annoying people in this world, and probably even think that about me, and that's fair, But Ethan, which is what Zach Galifianakis' character and I think Peter is Robert Downey Jr. They're just two very different guys, and in many ways, the whole point of a buddy comedy about forming a friendship through a series of misadventures, is you realize is like maybe you could be more like them and they could be more like you. And that's the point of friendship. That's the point of, as steel sharpens steel, so shall one man's soul sharpen another's. It's like, Robert Downey Jr.'s character, he might need to just chill out, smoke some pot from time to time. And Zach Galifianakis' character, he could smoke pot less because he's buying pot and he's running out of money trying to get all the way to Hollywood from Atlanta, but he spent too much on weed, Because Ethan there, he wants to be an actor. And because Robert Downey Jr.'s character is from L.A., he knows a little bit more about the Hollywood culture and so forth. And he's like telling him, you are never going to make Hollywood. Yeah, what did he say? Something like, Hollywood is paved with the corpses of idiots like you. Stuff like that, There's great rants. I love a good rant in a movie. There's great rants. There's great funny bits. And there's even points where I got a little misty-eyed. So due date, 2010 movie, 12 of 13 stars. I didn't like Jamie Foxx's role. I think he's like a mediocre actor. Certainly not a very good comedic actor. I know it's ironic, but I don't think he's good at that. Anyway. All right, All right, one more thing before we get into the news. Look, all you people with tattoos that are not affiliated with gangs, when you get arrested, the cops are going to take the pictures of your tattoos. All right? And it's going to be, and those pictures of tattoos are going to go onto a database somewhere, the FBI database or something like that, where they track tattoos. All right? And the reason they track tattoos is so they can keep track of gang affiliations. When they arrest gang members and stuff like that, they take pictures of their tattoos so they can say, this is the kind of tattoo that the people in this gang are getting, and so forth. And so if you are not affiliated with a gang and you get tattoos and you get arrested, you are wasting taxpayer dollars. You're wasting my taxpayer dollars for us to photograph your stupid tattoos and keep them on a database somewhere. Especially if you have no intention of committing crime ever in your life. All right? You get picked up for, speeding, you're reckless driving or something like that, and you had to get arrested. Then they're going to take pictures of your stupid tattoos. And you know what? They may even ask you where that tattoo come from and make some notes. It's like, tell me about that tattoo. Well, I was going through a real bad breakup at the time. And there's some cop that's got to sit there and write that down, type it into a database, and file it along the picture of your stupid breakup tattoo. Quit wasting my taxpayer dollars. I don't know. Is that something weird to rant about? I don't know. Even I think that's a little weird to rant about. All right, let's get to the news worth knowing. I'm going to spend a majority of our time in the show in the news because there's some fantastic stories today. All right, we could probably do them all. Alrighty, so authorities nab 8 suspected terrorists with ties to ISIS in a multi-city sting operation. So, let's see here. 8 Tajikistani nationals with ties to ISIS were busted by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in conjunction with the Federal Bureau of Investigation Joint Terrorism Task Force in 3 major cities. Federal source confirmed to Fox News. The arrests took place in New York, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia in recent days, according to a source. See, that's why we will always need a federal law enforcement division. I know the FBI is a corrupt organization, but they still do important stuff. Okay. So all 8 of these Tajikistan nationals crossed the U.S. southern border illegally according to a federal source familiar with the sting. No derogatory information on Homeland Security. Ah, what the heck? I'm on a different laptop today. Oh boy. Initially, no derogatory information was initially flagged with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection or the U.S. Department of Homeland Security when they came through the border. The suspected terrorists were, quote, fully vetted and nothing was flagged, according to Fox News federal source. That just proves right there that CBP is just barely taking down names. What's your name? Okay, whatever. It's just moving them along. You know, they're not even looking too close with these people anymore. And that's the big problem. You know, that's the problem. This stuff is going to be getting out of hand very soon. Anyway, this is the boringest of the stories, so I'm going to end it right now. And we'll go to Tiffany Henyard. So, open a new tab, jackass. Open a new tab. Jackass. He called his computer jackass. That's why it doesn't work for you. Embattled Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard accused of politically targeting town's own park district. So, Tiffany Henyard, the scandal-ridden Democratic mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has been engulfed in controversy in recent months, is now facing a new headache involving allegations of her targeting the town's own park district. Fox 32 Chicago reported Tuesday that Dalton Park District is sounding the alarm about $2,000 worth of citations it has received from the village of Dalton over allegedly doing work without a permit. 2 of the 4 tickets were issued for installing new playground equipment, and another 2 for spreading new mulch on the playground. So it's real boring, run-of-the-mill stuff. All right. Every year, this is a quote, every year we replenish the mulch in the parks to ensure the kids are playing on a safe surface, healthy mulch. We do it every year. Dalton Park District President Cleo Jones told Fox 32 Chicago. Jones suspects Dalton Park District, which Fox 32 Chicago notes is a separate government entity from Henyard's office, is being targeted because it allowed her political opponents on the Dalton Board of Trustees to hold meetings on Park District property after being shut out of the Village Hall. Quote, we do not play politics here, and do not put us in the middle of politics by issuing us these political citations, Jones told Fox 32 Chicago. She is also accused of holding up 2 grants worth a whopping $600,000 for park improvements by blocking the necessary permits. Quote, we've gone from village to the village for permitting, and they've been unresponsive. Dalton Park District Executive Director Stephanie Wiedemann said, I have a project manager that's working on that, and they just refuse to give us the permits. A $400,000 grant measure to rehabilitate Blackstone Park is on the brink of expiring if the permits aren't issued by Henyard's office within the next 2 weeks, and the $150,000 in money already spent on the project will have to be footed to the taxpayers instead. Wiedemann, an outspoken critic of Henyard, there it is, believes she's being targeted by the mayor as a result. Quote, what a resident wants to look at outside their house and see beat up stuff. If we can upgrade these things, and you're preventing it with a permit, the residents are suffering. And they don't want to look out the door and see nice things because you're stopping it. They don't get to look out the window. Henyard's office did not respond, obviously. Yeah. If you, read anything about this chick, she's just a spiteful, see you next Tuesday. You know, and it really is a problem. You know, Remember a couple of weeks ago, was it a week ago? We were talking about a baby girl. Baby girl. Yeah. That's the clip I want to show them whenever I said women should be in politics. And, you know, for some reason, people like Tiffany Henyard are disproportionately corrupt when they are in politics. All right. Let's talk about the Bidens for a sec. So Biden reportedly blames re-election bid for Hunter's conviction. He would have gotten the plea deal. Oh, I see. You think it's a witch hunt, Joe Biden? That the biased media is coming after you just because you're running for office?
I've heard this before.
This sounds so familiar. All right, so President Biden reportedly blamed his re-election campaign for his son Hunter Biden's conviction on federal gun charges, as the chief executive worries that his political career has put a spotlight on his family. It could just be that your son broke federal gun laws. But no, you want to insert yourself in this. All right. If I weren't running for re-election, he would have gotten the plea deal. Biden reportedly told a person close to him earlier this month. Politico reported on Tuesday. The younger Biden's initial plea deal fell apart in July of 2023. Hunter was found guilty in all 3 counts by a Delaware jury on Tuesday and faces up to 25 years in prison, though he isn't expected to receive the maximum penalty. And even for the crime, I don't think he should get 25 years. That's excessive. White House aides reportedly told Politico that the ruling would take an emotional toll on the president. The White House did not respond to Fox, blah, blah, blah. Biden found out that his son's guilty verdict as he was preparing for his remarks on gun violence and headed back to his Wilmington, Delaware home on Tuesday to be with Hunter. The president also said he wouldn't pardon his son. In an interview with ABC News' David Muir in Normandy, France, before the federal trial's conclusion, Biden said he would accept its results. He also said he would rule out pardoning Hunter if convicted. He just said that. He was found guilty of making false statements of the purchase of a gun, making false statements related to information required to be kept by a federally licensed gun dealer, and possession of a gun by a person who is unaware, who is an unlawful user or addicted to a controlled substance. After the verdict, the president released a statement expressing love and support and also noted his son's well-known struggles with addiction. As I said last week, I'm the president, but I'm also a dad. Jill and I love our son, and we are proud of the man he is today. Are you, though? So many families have loved ones that battle addiction. Poor us, poor Biden. Oh, poor Bidens. Yeah, so, first of all, Hunter's got to be thinking, boy, I hope my dad lives to the election. Because it wouldn't be political. Because I guarantee you, at the very least, Hunter's going to be pardoned on the last day of Joe Biden's presidency. So, Hunter's, hang in there, Dad. And, yeah, and so, I mean, I think after the election, it'd be a different story for Hunter Biden. You know, I think definitely he's going to get pardoned. My Rain Man in me says so. And and it's funny because Biden's like trying to play this like, oh, they're just coming after me because I'm the president. You know, or they do it and say, well, you know, the justice system is fair. You know, they got Trump and they got Hunter, so that's even. Meanwhile, the Clintons get away, the Obamas get away, the real Bidens get away. I always joke about this when it comes to Hunter Biden, where it's like, you know, it's like he's trying to make his family look bad, and it's not sticking. You know, it's like how many whores do I got to bang? How much meth do I got to smoke before it looks bad on my family? It's just not working. That's got to be frustrating, right? It's like, how hedonistic do I got to be? All right, let's talk about the Pope, because this is the funniest story I've seen all year. All right. Pope Francis allegedly repeats anti-gay slur while discussing ban on homosexuals in the clergy, seminarians. All right, so, yep, it's blocked out. I got to make up the story. Anyway, I remember the story. So apparently he's on tape saying a word. EK and I had to sit down and parse out how to say this Italian word. And how do we get it? Frocagine? Frocagine?
Frocagine, I think.
Frocagine?
Frocagine.
Frocagine. All right. And so Pope Francis has apparently used this word when he's talking about the Vatican and people who are trying to become priests. And that word in Italian, and that Italian word in English means faggotry. That of being like a faggot. And suddenly I'm like kind of cool with Catholics all of a sudden. I kind of like this Pope now. All right, because the whole idea is that, like, the Pope Francis is saying that, homosexuals shouldn't be in the clergy. I agree, because it makes them like women, and women shouldn't be in the clergy. And so I don't think homosexuals should be in there, and apparently the Pope doesn't either. And you know what? When it comes to talking about a word like that, there's a reason why that word exists in both English and Italian. Because you're describing something that exists. And so you can I don't know how can I put this? You can cry all you want, and it's like, oh, those are hurtful words. Cry me a river, homo. Yeah, hurt feelings. How do you get through school without hurt feelings, where words upset you? Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words may never hurt me. What the hell happened to that? All right. But I like the Pope now. Can you believe it? I think the Pope is cool. They knew we were talking about that article, and then they blocked it on me. That's what happened. Google's always listening. All right. Let's see if they blocked this one, because I think we talked about this one a bit, too. Man sent to a mental hospital for trying to start a gay club in Pakistan. Yep, they blocked that one too. So, Pakistani man is currently being held in a mental hospital after trying to start a gay club in Pakistan. So, I got to make up the rest of the story now too. So, he went to a mental hospital because he's trying to start a gay club in Pakistan. And it's not because he's gay that he's crazy. It's because he's still in Pakistan. If you're that kind of person, you should know you should stay away from any kind of Muslim country where it even smells Muslim. You really shouldn't be there. If you are gay and you're in Pakistan, your first thought should be, I need to go to a place like America where they are incredibly tolerant of homosexuality. And a lot of people forget that. All right? I know it just made fun of, of the Pope and his potty mouth. But we are incredibly tolerant to people like that. You forget that. You forget that there are places in the world where if you try to start a gay club, and I can't even pull up the article. It could have been a gay book club for all I know, where they sit there and they talk about like good old books. Today we all read Wuthering Heights. Oh, Heathcliff. Oh, how'd you imagine you? Can't believe I read that too. Ugh. Reading. Yeah, so, the U.S. is incredibly tolerant. Don't forget that. We're so tolerant we let this transgender thing get out of hand. That's how tolerant we are. So, thank your lucky stars. You're in the United States. I mean, I think what you do is wrong. I think homosexuality is wrong. But I'm not trying to, put you in a mental hospital. If you think you're a girl and you're a boy, yeah, you probably need a mental hospital. Just like if you woke up today and say, I'm Bruce Wayne. Where's my limo? That won't get you very far. You like that scene of Napoleon and I don't know why this popped in my head. Napoleon and what's that? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. He gets thrown out of the bowling alley because he didn't pay. Right, buddy? You remember that? Buddy. Pay? And they throw him out of the bowling alley, and he just stands there at attention, like with his hat in his hand, just shouting for, where's my coach? Where's my ride? Little details like that make a movie very, very good. All right, so let's talk about a last story here. It's kind of weird. So, woman discovers her dog is alive and up for adoption after having him put down. Also blocked. Assholes. I think I should bring my other computer. This isn't working very well. I wonder if I can pull it up on my phone. Because this is a really interesting story. And if I can't pull it up, then I'll have to make it up or from what I remember. All right. I got the Buca de Faccias. I'm in an Italian kind of mood, huh? The Faccia Buca. All right, we still got 10 minutes. All right, I'm not wasting your time, am I? All right, let's see if it pulls up here on my phone. All right, Christy Perea adopted her dog Bo in December of 2022 and sadly had to put him down due to medical complications. Fox 5 DC reported. That's why it's local, Montgomery County, up in Maryland. So she told the station that she recently spotted Bo on a Facebook page of the group that she had adopted him from. Now she says she wants the dog back. No, you don't get the dog back. You gave up on him. Quote, I don't think that someone that wanted to get rid of the dog would feel anywhere close to how I'm feeling about this and how I felt about it. None of it was easy, she told Fox 5. Bo started acting differently about 2 months after he was adopted, she said. She said that after she consulted with veterinarians, it was concluded that Bo may have a neurological condition, citing major health problems. She said vets told her that Bo's quality of life might not improve, and so she should consider putting the dog down. She ultimately made the decision to take Bo to Montgomery County Animal Services to be euthanized. So Fox 5 obtained a copy of the form that the pet owners fill out when they bring a dog in for euthanasia in Montgomery County. There is a box in bold in the form that says the pet owner is requesting the humane euthanasia, but it also states that Montgomery County Animal Services acknowledges the pet is treatable and adoptable. They can treat it and have the pet adopted. Officials in Montgomery County Animal Services said the latter was selected in the situation. You know why? Because they care about animals. They don't give up on your dog.
This lady's mad. Like, you should have killed my dog.
Right. But no, they said, hey, we can maybe not kill the dog.
What craziness is
Yeah. And maybe somebody else will adopt him who loves them and won't give up on him just because they think the quality of life. It's not like... What kind of monster are you? You know? I mean... You don't get, it's almost like, you know, some of them, like some women out there, I want to say women, but there are also probably some men too, who are like serial pet adopters. All right. They'll go and adopt a pet, you know, because there's always, if you're willing to adopt and you love animals, and who doesn't, you know, even horrible people like animals to cuddle. You know what I mean? It's so, but some people that will go get a dog and say, oh, this dog, you know, sheds too much. I'm going to take it back. Get a different one. You know, this dog won't poop on the floor. You know, this one, he's not learning to go outside. So you just trade it in. And I guarantee you there's serial animal adopters. And I guarantee you there's people in those places that work there who know them by name. It's like, you again? What happened? Another dog died on you? What, do you live next to a golf course? I'm sorry. EK showed me a video, and that's a deep cut between us. So, I mean, how do you're mad that you said, okay, I want to put it down. I want you to put it down. They're like, let's not tell her we're not going to kill the dog, and maybe we can find someone better for this dog. Because we're not monsters who kill dogs just because they're inconvenient. You know, spay or neuter your pets. Don't get me wrong. All right. But for God's sakes, show a little compassion and mercy. What a weird news day. Anyways, this is going to be the end of the show. I want to remind you that I have a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/shockmonkeyradio. Become a patron today. I would very much appreciate it. You can also send me money through Cash App. Use the hashtag shockmonkeyradio, all one word. You can send me money that way. Or you can follow me on social media at DNALETSAW on Twitter. That's the word wasteland spelled backwards on Twitter. Shock Monkey Radio Redux on Facebook. And at SLRobbins13 on the Instagrams. So this has been Shock Monkey Radio. I'm the Madman, and I love you.